we're talking about, for example, was it Australia? You're telling me that they've banned under 18 to be on 16 to be used in social media, for example. Why? Because they've seen that there are dangers in the social media that they themselves cannot navigate, and they need, the power is being taken away from their hands. You have no choice. You haven't got the capacity to discern or decide. So we're doing that for you. Yeah, they're doing that for them because they are children, so they can't make that. So if you want, I can leave the sexual thing aside. I was going to that because, again, that's one of the biggest concerns as well that this society faces. Youngsters being groomed into relationships by often older people. And then, you know, for example, Akon's story, you know, someone is in a club that's 20 and over, they are much younger, and he's getting in trouble because he had a relation with this particular person. No one is thinking, well, she was at fault because she went there. They should have been, but no one is thinking, and that's the word right now.
But that's what I would push against.
It's acceptable to think that the child did not comprehend the consequences of their actions by doing what they were doing.
What do you say?
It's acceptable. I would say it's acceptable that the child did not comprehend the consequences of their action. Essentially, sometimes we step in, again, back to this social media thing. These people, we can argue that the children are not comprehending the consequences of too much social media usage and accessing things that they shouldn't access on their minds.
Okay.
We are putting in a measure to protect them.
Do you want me to tell you why I disagree with what you're saying? Because you've spoken about two different things that for me are two completely polar opposites, right? Okay. The young girl who's underage, who goes into an over 18 or over 21 club, she knows that what she's doing is wrong.
She does.
So she's making the decision to do something wrong, right?
Yes. But does she know what will happen? What could potentially happen?
Nobody knows the future. Nobody knows what's going to happen. And we as children, you know me, I'm okay with children in fact, not okay, I encourage children to be out in the world, taking risks, pushing boundaries, because that's how we learn, that's how we push, humans, forward, right? So I'm okay with that. But the fact of the matter is, if you push a limit, if you push a boundary, nobody knows what's going to happen. But there's certain rules and boundaries and limits for a reason, right? So that child going into the club that they're not old enough to go in, they've made that decision. Their responsibility lies on them. That's different to social media, because when social media came, only a few voices like me were saying, guys, this is terrible. This is not good. But it wasn't illegal. No, it was accepted. Socially, it was accepted. There was nothing wrong with it. My point is, children partaking in that, they weren't doing anything that they knew was wrong and breaking the rules. They were just enjoying this new thing that's come on the surface.
So why not just say, okay, stop using social media?
What do you mean?
Why not just tell the children to stop using social media?
And this is a conversation that's being had, because, and I would agree with this, it shouldn't be a law. This is down to parenting. It's only a law because, again, another thing I would say, parenting is trash these days. Parents don't parent anymore. But it shouldn't be a law. You as the parent, your child is spending 14 hours on social media. Do you not have the brain cells to be like, no social media, maybe an hour a day? The rest of the time, you're there with the family, playing games with us, eating, doing homework or whatever. But parents are not doing that. As a result, it's having an impact on the schools. As a result, it's having an impact on society. As a result, government are like, okay, this is a problem now. We need to step in. But I would agree with you. It's not the government. It's not a solution for the government to find. It's an in-home thing.
I mean, a lot of pushback on that, but I do want us to stay on topic. Yeah, I do understand on topic. So we will come back to this, and we will come back to this conversation in our future conversation. I've said this quite a lot today. I'm promising quite a lot of conversations. But anyway, even more so reason for you to stick around and subscribe. Anyway, back to this.